Every January, millions pledge to conquer mornings at 5 a.m. By February, most feel like failures. But the problem isn't willpower, it's biology. Here's what the science really says about crafting a morning routine that sticks. The internet is flooded with images of serene 5 a.m. rituals, journaling, meditation, cold plunges. Yet, research shows that this one-size-fits-all approach is a fantasy. Chronobiology reveals that our bodies are not light switches, they're complex systems governed by internal clocks. A 2018 study by Hastings and colleagues highlights the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN, as the master circadian clock. This cluster of neurons orchestrates hormonal cascades that prepare us for wakefulness hours before we open our eyes. The cortisol awakening response, or CAR, releases a surge of cortisol 30 to 45 minutes after waking, priming us for action. But jolting awake with a blaring alarm disrupts this natural process, potentially dysregulating stress responses over time. The key takeaway: there is no single perfect morning. The most effective routines are built on biological foundations, not Instagram aesthetics. Light is the single most powerful external cue for our circadian systems. Exposure to bright, blue-enriched light in the morning signals the SCN to suppress melatonin and shift our internal clock forward. A landmark study by Wright and colleagues in 2013 showed that a week of camping, with no artificial light, caused participants' circadian rhythms to synchronize perfectly with sunrise, even in self-described night owls. The practical implication is straightforward. Get outside within the first hour of waking. 10 to 15 minutes of natural light, even on overcast days, is more effective than any lamp or alarm. According to Professor Russell Foster, light is the most potent synchronizer of the human circadian system. Morning light exposure is not a nice-to-have, it is a biological necessity for regulating sleep, mood, and metabolism. This gentle process allows the cortisol awakening response to function naturally, setting a calm, alert foundation for the day. Cold showers and ice baths have exploded in popularity, championed by figures like Wim Hof. Proponents claim they boost alertness via norepinephrine release and reduce inflammation. A 2022 study by Cox and colleagues found that a combination of breathing techniques and cold exposure increased plasma epinephrine levels in trained individuals. However, the evidence for cold exposure alone in untrained individuals is mixed. A systematic review by Tipton and others in 2021 concluded that while cold water immersion can acutely increase alertness and dopamine, long-term benefits for mental health and resilience are not well established. Risks include cardiac arrhythmias and hypothermia, especially for those with underlying conditions. For a safer approach, try ending a warm shower with 30 seconds of cold water. This gradual method is likely sufficient to trigger an alertness response without the dangers. It's a small shock that can wake you up, but it's not a magic bullet. Does morning exercise have unique benefits? Research says yes, but not for the reasons often cited. A study by Fairbrother and colleagues in 2014 found that morning exercise before breakfast can improve fat oxidation, but total daily energy expenditure remains similar to exercising later in the day. The more compelling benefit is psychological. A 2019 study in the Journal of Clinical Medicine found that morning exercisers reported lower stress levels and better mood throughout the day, largely because they slept better. Sleep quality mediated the effect, improved rest enhanced mood. The key takeaway is that consistency trumps timing. If morning exercise fits your schedule, great. But if evening workouts work better for you, don't force a morning routine. The best time to exercise is the time you will actually do it consistently. Your body adapts to a regular pattern, whether it's dawn or dusk. Mindfulness meditation has robust scientific backing. A meta-analysis of 47 randomized controlled trials found that mindfulness-based interventions significantly reduce anxiety, depression, and stress. But how long should you meditate in the morning? Research suggests a 10-minute session is the sweet spot. Longer sessions can lead to diminishing returns for beginners, while shorter ones may not trigger the neural changes that support emotional regulation. A 2018 study in the journal Behavioral Brain Research found that just 10 minutes of daily mindfulness for 2 weeks improved attention and reduced mind wandering. The key is consistency, not duration. A brief morning meditation can calm the cortisol awakening response, preventing it from spiking into anxiety. It's a gentle reset that aligns with your body's natural rhythms, setting a calm tone for the day ahead without overwhelming your schedule. The most overlooked element of an effective morning routine is the transition itself. Our bodies are not designed to jump from sleep to full alertness instantly. The cortisol awakening response needs 30 to 45 minutes to unfold naturally. Yet, many of us hit snooze, check emails, or scroll social media within minutes of waking, all of which spike cortisol artificially and dysregulate stress responses. A 2009 study by Fries and colleagues linked a blunted CAR to burnout and depression, while an exaggerated CAR is tied to anxiety. The solution is a slow, intentional start, allowing gentle light exposure, avoiding screens for the first 20 minutes, and engaging in a simple, calming activity like stretching or sipping water. This respects your biology, reduces morning anxiety, and sets a sustainable pace. The real secret isn't what you do, it's how you begin. The science is clear. Sustainable morning routines are not about willpower, they're about alignment with your biology. Start by prioritizing light exposure within the first hour. Then, choose one or two small, enjoyable practices, like a 10-minute walk or a brief meditation. Avoid the temptation to stack 5 new habits at once. Behavioral psychology shows that habit formation thrives on simplicity and consistency. A 2010 study by Lally and colleagues found that it takes an average of 66 days for a new behavior to become automatic, but missing a single day doesn't derail progress. The most powerful morning routine is the one that feels natural and reduces stress, not adds to it. By respecting your circadian rhythms and starting small, you create a foundation for genuine, sustained well-being. The perfect morning isn't a fantasy, it's a personalized, biology-friendly practice. If you found this exploration of morning routines valuable, share it with someone who struggles with mornings. The science is clear. Your biology isn't broken, it's just waiting for a routine that respects